Algarve, Portugal. Just in the event the four-door supercar clichés were getting stale, Affalterbach's latest 5-seat U-Bursled nudges so dangerously near to midlife crisis-worthy, scissor-wind, unpronounceable exotic car territory that there could possibly be more than a trace of truth to your hyperbole, all things considered. Spanking 60 miles per hour inside a claimed 3.3 seconds using a 603 horsepower twin-turbo V8. The 2018 Mercedes-AMG E63 easily bests its predecessors, let alone many respectable sports cars that lack kid-friendly rear seats as well as a grocery-hauling trunk. Have we mentioned this is the glorious time for you to be a four-door fan? The specs are swole plus the motor is madness. Nevertheless, the key towards the E63's paradoxical extremes lie anywhere between its V8 and its particular four-pirely-wrapped wheels. Incorporating Mercedes-Benz's first fully variable all-wheel drive system, the 4MATIC moniker is actually followed by a tiny plus a big improvement in how power gets delivered for the ground. Using an electromechanical coupling, how big a bocce ball, the multi-clutch pack connects the always-linked rear axle towards the front axle. Encounter a dynamically unfriendly condition, say, an icy patch with the car's top rated, along with the system transfers approximately 100% of torque towards the front. Miss the nice all era of tire smoking hoonery? There's a not-so-scrit setting which will get your tail uppy heart pumping, drift mode. Only some procedural protocol is involved. Select race mode, switch the 9-speed gearbox into manual, secure the ESP button until stability control is deterred, grab both paddles, and accept the prompt by tapping the best paddle, and you may relive the periods when a 603 horsepower luxury sedan still felt unmistakably, obscenely excessive. Chasing tail. The last time there was our first taste of the all-new E63 with a track, we chased AMG Honcho Tobias mowers within an SLS Black Series at Circuit Paul Ricard in southern France. This time, our task would be to trail DTM racing legend Bernd Schneider inside a GTS with the Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. My, that of a difference 4 years makes. Select the more effective engine gearbox suspension setup, race mode, ESP and sport handling, plus the twin-turbo V8 emits a reassuringly burbly idle. The boys in Affalterbach have inked well by coaxing acoustic character without resorting to artificially enhanced sounds. The new mill gains advantage from upgraded pistons, optimized airflow, as well as the first by using twin-scroll turbochargers, which enhance throttle response and engine output. On straight-line stretches of Circuit Algarve, the E63 hangs together with the feisty GTS, the sedan's power-to-weight equation essentially nullifying the number of 100-pound difference between the two. Though the new E63 tips the scales with just other pounds than its predecessor, the gap remains slim due to a body in white that's 115 pounds lighter, aided by an aluminum hood and fenders along with a carbon fiber chubby tummy carrier. Toss the E63 to a corner just behind a GTS along with the differences in wheelbase, center of gravity, and curb weight offer stark reminders you're driving a sedan, because GTS watches from the apex, the A-Class actively works to hustle its mass. Though perceptible, the disadvantages are significantly lower than how its predecessor struggled from the SLS a generation ago. Back then, the sedan safety systems awkwardly triggered emergency braking when following lead vehicle too closely, plus the car felt bigger, heavier, and sloppier in corners. On a couple of occasions, the SLS easily attained a substantial enough cause leave the A-Class within the dust. Now, the GTS still pulls away inside the corners, however the E feels considerably more planted and controlled, its center and rear edifs retiring power and helping it emerge from bends more sure-footedly. The robust power helps as well when exiting corners, the V8 charging ahead with furious acceleration because the 9-speed multi-clutch gearbox bangs off quick, sharp shifts. The system's logic makes sense and responsive enough in Sport Plus mode, which the computer more often than not seems to be inside correct gear and also the optimal RPM. Switch to manual mode, as well as the paddle shifts feel noticeably quicker compared to previous model. When I became acclimated on the nuances of Algarve's corners and push-located shove, the E63 trailed the GTS closer, with Schneider listed the heat by counter-steering through corners and pitching the agile two-seater sideways. Tracking outside the final, large-scale right-hand sweeper, the E63 remains stable because it drifts in the rumble strip and charges for the straightaway. It's along this lengthy stretch the power plant proves its brawn. With the GTS only a few car lengths ahead, the E63 pulls hard and keeps pace while using GTS until reaching an indicated 155 miles per hour toward the spine end on the straight, at which I finally summon the carbon ceramic brakes to get a spell of rapid deceleration. There's a certain amount of suspension unsettling across the bumpy bits from the track, together with the tail loosening and the left pedal stomping. But the prevailing demeanor is among athleticism and confidence, largely due towards the all-wheel drive system's traction, the significantly tighter chassis, along with the seamless fluidity on the Affalterbach electronics. E63s, IRL. Beyond this toroidal whole world of racetrack, the A-Class's updated interior feels more masculine and premium in AMG trim, specifically in our tester's carbon and black leather trimmed spec. The optional sport seats fit my 5'11", 185-pound frame snugly, even just in their most generous setting, and so are surprisingly stiff, even by performance car standards. Here within the hushed and entire world of stop signs and mile markers, the differences in drive modes make themselves more watchily apparent than when muddled because of the roar in the track. Start up in sport mode, plus the V8 hums alive. Fire up in Sport Plus, as well as the exhaust crackles crisply, sending perceptible vibrations from the armrests and seatback when shifting at speed. Drive time on winding roads through Portugal's lush hill country puts the E63's capabilities in stark, actual context. Without a $130,000 race car leading the way, the E63 claws with surprising grip mainly because it negotiates the rain-slicked asphalt on these tight roads, despite its generous footprint. As with lesser A-Class variants, the suspension doesn't handle potholes as graciously as we'd like, and Class this ain't. But there is outstanding responsiveness in the front wishbone multi-link setup, offering excellent body control in corners and noticeably stiffer damping in sportier settings. The V8 uses precisely the same cylinder deactivation system also situated on the SLK55. But you're unlikely to view the tiny cylinder and Conrad graphic turn-up if you drive the E63 what was intended as driven. Steering, suspension, drivetrain, and stability control settings might be individually adjusted, however the preset modes, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Race, are calibrated for just a broad variety of conditions. Press both pedals in race mode and release the brake. Along with the E63 surges at a standstill with stunning instantaneity. Touches of torque steer is usually felt under heavy throttle or low traction conditions, even so the quirk is a little price to pay to be watched on the E63's performance envelope. Steering feel is normally intuitive and predictable, plus the variable ratio electromechanical system intervenes unobtrusively, quickening response at low speeds and enhancing stability at higher speeds. While variable ratio steering has yielded mixed brings about shorter wheelbase cars see Lamborghini Huracan, the A-Class chassis feels well suited to your technology because of its longer wheelbase and intuitively engineered application. fierce and friendly. The Mercedes-AMG E-Class created a quantum leap if it gained all-wheel drive in 2013, enabling it to put its considerable power down to your road and minimize wheel spin inside interest of forward momentum. The new E63 takes those gains and adds more finesse, greater control, and much more power, enabling it to leapfrog its antecedent and push it nearer to a segment usually accessible focused two-seat sports cars. Which begs the question, is all-wheel drive a cheat, or perhaps an authentic performance enhancer? When asked the way the sedan performed up against the AMG GTS about the prior rain-drenched day on the racetrack, Schneider says, the E63 was quicker. It wasn't even close. 2018 Mercedes-AMG E63 S4MATIC Plus specifications. On sale. Summer 2017. Price: $100,000 estate. Engine: 4.0 liters turbocharged 32-valve V8 603 HP at 5,750 to 6,500 revolutions per minute, 627 lb-ft at 2,500 to 4,500 revolutions per minute. Transmission: 9-speed multi-clutch automatic. Layout: 4-door, 5-passenger, front engine, AWD. EPA mileage: Na. Length x width x height: Na. Wheelbase: 115.7 inches, weight: 4,400 pounds estate. 060 miles per hour. 3.4 seconds E63, 3.3 seconds E63s. Top speed: 186 miles per hour.